Good morning, everyone. It's that time of year when I'm back out in one of my favorite habitats out there with one of my favorite animals to photograph. I'm out on the Sage Steppe right now with the charismatic Greater Sage Grouse. For years now, I've spent loads of time observing and photographing these amazing birds each spring. This year has been incredible so far. Let's jump into this week's video. I'll show you what I've been up to so far out here this spring, and hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have some more pictures of these beautiful birds as well as some other fun wildlife. Let's get into it. Over the years, I've been fortunate to have photographed Greater Sage Grouse countless times. I've known about them since I was just a kid, and I've always been fascinated with them. Overall, I'd say most wildlife photographers don't know much about them or haven't had much interest in photographing them. But in recent years, I've seen a huge increase in overall interest within the photography community. And each year, more and more people want to photograph these birds and their unique display. Partly because of the added attention, I've noticed many well-known grouse areas are being overrun with people, and the numbers of birds are steadily declining due to multiple factors. One of the best ways to combat these issues is through education, and so, a few years ago, I started taking other photographers out into this beautiful landscape to help educate them about these amazing birds, and of course, to help with the photography portion as well. And let me just say, the outcome each year has been just spectacular. I've had the opportunity over the last few weeks to get out with some incredible photographers, and let me tell you, the grouse activity this spring has been absolutely amazing. I like to use the opportunity while we're out here to help teach other photographers the best way that I've found to photograph Greater Sage Grouse in a very ethical way, in a manner that best prioritizes the grouse's needs while still yielding incredible results. And this spring has been proof of that, as those who have joined me out here have gotten some wonderful photos, some really fun video content. It has been just great. I just finished one workshop up this morning, and I'm about to start one later today. I'm just getting things cleaned up, tidied up around camp. I want you to experience this as well, so let's get into it. The best way that I found to photograph grouse over the years is by using a photo blind. But using a blind isn't always as straightforward as it may seem, especially when photographing a species like Greater Sage Grouse. So I like to provide some instructions, useful tips to everybody who joins me out here. That way they have the best chance possible of getting the images that they want and having an enjoyable time while they're using the blind. The mornings are early out here, as you need to be in the blind before the grouse arrive on the lek. Once you're situated, I leave you to it in the blind, and I retreat away from the lek and spend the morning observing from a distance. I like to do this to look for patterns in the grouse's behavior so that I can make sure the blind is always set up in the ideal spot for your photos. The blind is all set and ready to go for tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. Hopefully the grouse put on a great show. Wow, what an incredible morning. The grouse put on such a nice show this morning, just absolutely awesome conditions. Everything was wonderful. I'm headed down to the blind right now, and let me just say, I love that expression or that look of pure joy on people's faces when they come out of the blind after they've photographed the grouse in the morning. It's something I can relate to very well, as I feel the exact same thing every time I photograph the grouse. Just awesome. I'm headed down to the blind right now. I'm going to get this guy, and then we're going to head back to camp, get some breakfast. We'll hang out for the day at camp, look for any signs of wildlife around there, and then we'll head out this evening and look for other wildlife that we can see, and yeah, we'll see what we can get. Phenomenal morning, just absolutely amazing. The Sage Steppe is a landscape full of wildlife. The trick to finding it is knowing where to look. Each of my favorite leks out here seems to have a different variety of species that live nearby. When we head out and look for additional wildlife in the late afternoons and evenings, sometimes we see burrowing owls and badgers, and other times we run into pronghorn or short-eared owls. earlier this year I was able to find a nearby area being frequented by short-eared owls. So we had our dinner in the field that evening and spent some time looking for the beautiful birds. We were able to get some really fun images of them as they put on quite the show for us. We returned to camp after dark and headed straight to bed to rest up for another early morning with the sage grouse. Oh man, another amazing morning with the grouse today, and that marks the end of another fun workshop out here. We headed back to camp shortly after we were done here this morning, got some breakfast, and then the fella who joined me out here the last couple mornings took off for his next wildlife adventure. It's a little bit strange this year. I've been out here now for a few weeks with the grouse, and I really don't have any pictures for myself, just because I've been watching from a distance each morning, making sure we've got the blind in the right location, depending on where the grouse tend to move and display and whatnot. And for me, not having any pictures, that's just completely unacceptable. So what I'm gonna do is leave the blind up for just one more day, and then tomorrow morning I'll spend some time in here with the grouse and hopefully be able to get some pictures of them. I really just want to come away with some pictures. It's not acceptable going a year without getting any grouse images. So that's my plan for the time being. I'm going to head out this afternoon, do a little bit of hiking and exploring, see what other wildlife I can find, maybe be able to find those short-eared owls again. That would be awesome. I just want to immerse myself in this beautiful landscape and soak it all in. So I'll see you guys in the morning, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some grouse. The afternoon and evening was so peaceful. I was able to further explore the nearby area, and I saw some fun little critters hanging around. Once again, I had a great encounter with a short-eared owl, such a beautiful bird. I absolutely love these sage grouse. It felt so good to be back in the blind this morning, photographing the grouse and not just watching from a distance, not being able to photograph them. In some regards, that has been just absolute torture for me the last few weeks. It's been great to see the other photographers get these awesome images, see the pure happiness as a result of photographing these birds, but to have the grouse right there and not be able to photograph them has been a little bit difficult. It always is, but again, this morning made up for that, and it was just incredible. The sunlight coming up this morning, the colors that I got were just wonderful, and I was really focused on backgrounds today, and I was able to get right down on eye level with these grouse and get some just wonderful backgrounds with those colors. It was just wonderful. I hope you enjoy the photos that I was able to get, because I absolutely am thrilled with them. One morning with these birds definitely isn't enough, so next year I'm going to make sure I dedicate more time to being in the blind myself, actually getting footage and pictures and videos of these guys, because one morning definitely isn't enough. If you've enjoyed these grouse in this week's video and you want to see more, be sure to check these videos out right here. I want to thank all of those who joined me out with the grouse this year, and for those who sign up for my other workshops as well. It really supports my work, and I thank you so very much. I would love to hear what adventures you've been on recently, so let me know down in the comments. Thank you so very much for following along. We'll see you next time.